In New York, opponents of President Donald Trump's administration gathered in various communities across the United States on Saturday. They voiced their concerns about what they perceive as threats to the nation's democratic principles. These events varied widely, from a march through Midtown Manhattan and a rally in front of the White House to a demonstration at a Massachusetts commemoration of the shot heard round the world on April 19, 1775, marking the start of the Revolutionary War 250 years ago. Thomas Basford, an 80-year-old retired Mason from Maine, participated in the reenactment of the battles of Lexington and Concord outside Boston. He expressed his belief that Americans are under attack from their own government and emphasized the need to stand up against it. "This is a very perilous time in America for liberty," said Basford, who was accompanied by his partner, daughter, and 2 grandsons. "I wanted the boys to learn about the origins of this country and that sometimes we have to fight for freedom." In Denver, hundreds of protesters gathered at the Colorado state capitol with banners expressing solidarity with immigrants and demanding that the Trump administration keep its hands off. People waved U.S. flags, some of which were held upside down to signal distress. Thousands also marched through downtown Portland, Oregon, while in San Francisco, hundreds spelled out the words "impeach and remove" on a sandy beach along the Pacific Ocean, also displaying an inverted U.S. flag. In Anchorage, Alaska, people walked through downtown with handmade signs listing reasons for their demonstration, including one that read, "No sign is big enough to list all of the reasons I'm here." Elsewhere, protests were planned outside Tesla car dealerships against billionaire Trump advisor Elon Musk and his role in downsizing the federal government. Others organized more community service-oriented events such as food drives, teach-ins, and volunteering at local shelters. The protests occurred just 2 weeks after similar nationwide demonstrations. Organizers say they oppose what they call Trump's civil rights violations and constitutional violations, including efforts to deport scores of immigrants and to scale back the federal government by firing thousands of government workers and effectively shuttering entire agencies. Some events drew on the spirit of the Revolutionary War, calling for no kings and resistance to tyranny. In Anchorage, a colonial reenactor in period attire held up a "No Kings" sign while someone next to him displayed a cardboard sign that read, "The feudal age is over." Austin resident George Bryant, who participated in the Concord protest, expressed concern that the president is creating a police state. He held a sign saying, "Trump fascist regime must go now." Bryant commented on his worries about defying the courts, kidnapping students, and undermining checks and balances, describing it as fascism. In Washington, Bob Fasick, a 76-year-old retired federal employee from Springfield, Virginia, attended the rally near the White House due to concerns over threats to constitutionally protected due process rights, Social Security, and other federal safety net programs. The Trump administration has moved to close Social Security Administration field offices, cut funding for government health programs, and scale back protections for transgender people. "I cannot sit still knowing that if I don't do anything and everybody doesn't do something to change this, that the world we collectively are leaving for the little children and our neighbors is simply not one I would want to live in," Fasick said. In Columbia, South Carolina, several hundred people protested at the State House holding signs with slogans such as "Fight fiercely, Harvard, fight." In Manhattan, protesters rallied against continued deportations of immigrants as they marched from the New York Public Library north toward Central Park and past Trump Tower. "No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state," they chanted to a steady drumbeat, referring to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Marshall Green expressed concern that Trump invoked the Wartime Alien Enemies Act of 1798 by claiming the country is at war with Venezuelan gangs linked to the South American nation's government. This was despite a recent U.S. intelligence assessment finding no coordination between them. "Congress should be stepping up and saying no, we are not at war, you cannot use that," said Green from Morristown, New Jersey. You cannot deport people without due process, and everyone in this country has the right to due process no matter what. Meanwhile, Melinda Charles from Connecticut voiced her worries about executive overreach, citing clashes with federal courts and elite colleges like Harvard University. "We're supposed to have 3 equal branches of government," she said. "To have the executive branch become so strong is just unbelievable."